it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, so
good morning, ladies and
Israel's
gentlemen.
behavior
Welcome
in
to
the field in
Cisnewa,
Gaza
the
is totally
platform
different from
where
what
we
the
speak
US
truth to
says
power.
or what the
This
international
morning,
community
we are
demands.
physically doing
So
something.
and
We're
it's
going
it's
through
still
this,
it feels protected. Israel does not have
this,
pressure on it to
Israel
really
thing.
change the discourse
It's
of
crazy.
its conduct in Gaza, and that's the problem. Yeah,
It's crazy.
Around
The UN
24 hours
apparently
ago, about
passed
this
a
time
law,
yesterday, there was
the
potential
ceasefire
talk of negotiations
over 200
gathering pace for a
countries.
ceasefire.
But the
And
veto of
then
the
we
US,
saw
you can see
what
now
happened overnight,
that
this
the
huge
US is
escalation.
actually
There's
at the bottom
100
of what is
fighter
going on.
planes
It's
from
not about
Israel
the US.
dropped
It's not
huge
about
amounts
Israel.
of
It's about-
weapons on
about,
Gaza.
Look at that. See?
I mean,
look at what's going on.
is there any
See?
potential now for
People
those
have been
negotiations
bombed
to
and
restart? Are
killed
they
and
still happening
see that?
behind the scenes, or have they pretty much been
See?
pushed to one side completely
See that?
after what we
So
saw
this is
last
what we're
night?
seeing on the
So,
screen.
Tom, yesterday, Israel's foreign minister
you're watching
came out and
Cisnewa,
said
backup channel.
the goal of this war is
And we're just
to
gonna
defeat and
recover
topple
this
down
as we
Hamas.
see it.
So again, they
Because I
keep
think
repeating the
it's
same
worth
goals.
covering. And
I don't see any change
what
in
we
their
need to do
political discourse, like the
in
discussion
Africa,
the Israelis. They're
this
still
should be
very focused
one of
on
the
this goal,
final
pretty much.
nails
But the
in
question
the
is,
coffin for the UN.
I mean,
the UN is
your reporters talk about
because
Americans, like, trying to convince them to go
UK and
into
France,
more use
they have
tactical,
veto
surgical,
powers.
like,
Whatever you decide
techniques
to say,
instead of a full
they
invasion, all
will
these
not
things. But
act on it.
these techniques will not
And that
topple down
is the
Hamas or
problem that
defeat
we
Hamas,
face.
because Hamas
So, I mean, we're putting it there,
will remain in
so
Gaza, and Hamas is
it's not
a
something that
political,
is-
it's an ideology, it's an idea.
Please,
It's
when
not
I'm doing
something
it, it doesn't
you
mean
can
I've
defeat.
forgotten
So
what's
the
going
thing is,
on
how can you
in,
achieve this goal? That's a big question to me.
in
So
Africa, in places
from
like
what I see on the
Nigeria, my
ground,
country,
I
and
see
others.
that Israel
But
has a
I'm
green
showing
light
this because we need
for
to
a very
understand
long,
that
slow,
the veto
brutal
powers
war.
of
It
the
might not
three
evolve,
countries, the veto
or
powers of US,
it might not become a full
UK,
invasion of the
and
Gaza Strip,
France.
but
This
it
is
could
the
lead to the same
result
outcome,
of
which
the
means
veto
if Israel
powers of the
still has a
US,
green light
UK,
to
and
keep
France.
bombing Gaza the way it's bombing
And that's
it,
wrong.
cutting
They're
aid,
bombing
communication, electricity,
relentlessly.
it's just a matter of time Gaza will collapse, or
Exactly.
there might be even a major exodus to the south.
Exactly.
So you are creating the conditions for a total collapse from within.
Exactly.
So then,
But
if
nobody
Gaza
wants to hear
collapses,
that.
it will collapse on Hamas as well.
Yes.
So the thing is, and now this brings me to the big question, which is also Hezbollah and the other powers. Will they
So-
set a red line for a major military
This is
invasion? But if
obviously
Israel
being
doesn't
covered
invade
by
and still
Al
it
Jazeera.
achieves the
Now,
same
I'm
outcome, more or
more
less,
likely
by
listening
continuing
to
this
this
brutal war
channel more
and the
because
sheer
they are
size
being
of destruction
objective,
and
they're talking
preventing
about
aid
the
from coming in,
destruction.
then it
Whereas
might
on
lead
other
to the
platforms,
same
you're just
outcome
talking about what
eventually,
is happening in Israel.
a
Israel is being
collapse or
attacked. Israel,
defeat
they're
from
saying.
within.
Yeah.
But
And that's
look
also
at
what
what
worries
is
me, but
happening
at what
on the
expense?
actual
At
ground.
the expense of
How many
2.3 million
properties have been
civilians.
destroyed?
So-
What is being
and
destroyed
that's-
on the
that's-
ground?
It's a huge
And
cost
look
to
at
pay.
the reality
Yeah.
of what
Thank you
is
so
happening
much,
in Gaza.
Tamak. We
That
really do
is what
appreciate
we're
you
saying.
coming in and
I'm not
explaining
trying to-
everything for us.
The
Again,
ceasefire
thank you.
should hold now.
Well, that is
the
all
first
from
thing,
me,
but,
Tom McRae. For this news hour, but Nick Clark will be back in just a moment with much more of the day's news, including all the latest from the war on Gaza.
So let me just pause that. I want to pause that. I'm going to mute it. What you've seen prior is something that is a concern. And this is, for me, as Africans, this is what evidence that we need now to break away entirely from the UN body, create our own body. We have to create an African body that is going to be effective at protecting Africans. First and foremost, be in control of all our resources in our continent, because the resources in our continent is what's being used to propagate all manner of wars. The nuclear, the uranium, for example, in Niger, places like Niger and Gabon and Mali, is what they extract to carry out all these weapons that they're building. And yet the people to whom those resources belong, we paid peanuts. So we have a big stake in this. We have a huge stake as Africans in what is going on. And I just wanted to really state that we, as it stands right now, this is being covered by Al Jazeera. As it stands right now, we cannot, be silent in the face of this nonsense going on. This is sheer injustice. This is totally unacceptable, and we should call it out. A lot of people are standing by the sidelines and not really calling out what should be called out. 1 minute. Is this platform? Let me just check. Sorry. I don't think I've done it on the right place. 1 second.